guys, thanks so much for stopping by the channel. My name's Leah and you are tapped into Continued or Nah, and this is the 13th installment, which is kind of cool because it's superstitious and that's what we're going to be talking about. But this series will be on Even If You Slit My Mouth by Akari Kimi. I hope I said that right, but y'all know I'm horrible with names. But let's get into it. And if this is your first time checking into Continued or Not, Continued or Not is a series I created where I figure out if I'm going to continue reading, watching a series, whether it be anime, actual TV shows, cartoons, or reading a book. But thanks for stopping by and let's get into it. So let's get into this synopsis, y'all. So it starts off like this. Mirako, who is a slitted-mouthed woman whose ear-to-ear smile strikes fear into the superstitious. But who would have thought she had a fiance? Once a infamous urban legend, the self-proclaimed queen of folklore has found her existence threatened by the public's declining belief in her. She is roped into a contractual marriage with a 17-year-old Sino, a member of a family responsible for the continuing existence of the supernatural. Mirako is unenthused by the arrangement and wishes to regain her notoriety through her own means. For this reason, Sino makes a deal with his fiance. If she can scare him once before he turns 18, he will end their engagement. Mirako concedes to these terms, but is unsettled by Sino's proposed condition, where he must make her fall in love with him, and the engagement continues. So that's the summary, you guys, for Even If You Slit My Mouth. I will say I'm going to continue. I'm going to tell you guys to continue as well. So like I said, continue. I'm actually surprised that I like this series because for the longest time, the app that I read the series on was like advertising it to me. And I was like, this look like some hentai stuff. And that's not how I get down. That's not how Leah gets down. So I was randomly looking for new manga to read or just to see what was out there. And this popped up again. And I said, you know what? It might not be what you think it is, Leah. So check it out. So I did. And I actually binge read all the way up to the 30th chapter. And actually today they just released chapters 31 and 32. This series debuted in November 2021. So it's fairly new. But I like the fact that they released 2 chapters each release date, and they're lengthy chapters. They're at least like 30 or 28 pages long, so it's nothing to be like to scoff about. And I actually enjoy it. I think what lends itself for me would be that it has a supernatural element to it. You have Sino, who is this boy who's like, he's different. He's a cool kid, but he's different. And he's in love with Mirako, who is this supernatural being who is, her existence is fleeting. And I think they do a good job expressing the emotions of the humans and the folklore or the urban legends. That's one thing about this series I actually enjoy, and seeing the interactions. You actually get to see a couple that is an urban legend and a human, and you get to see how that has played out, because these urban legends, they don't disappear. They're basically immortal beings, and humans are not. And it plays on, are these people going to stay together forever? And how does that look for our main characters when you have one is a folklore, the other one's a human? And I think the backstories of the folklores or the urban legends are actually very interesting of how they came to be. You have a doll that became an urban legend. You have our main character. You have her brother who's like a zombie but not a zombie. You have another character who's a shapeshifter. You have, and it's like each backstory of how they came to be is very interesting and it's lighthearted and it's fun based off of the things I think that's why it's such a shift for me, because I normally like to read dark manga and anime. I want to read and be uncomfortable or really be invested. And this series is very much of like, if it's raining outside and you just need to sit down and just read something nice and cute, or you're having like a stressful day and you just want to read something that will calm you down, I would read Even If You Slip My Mouth. The art style is very lovely as well. The author does a wonderful job showcasing the emotions of each character, and I love that. I also love that there are like slight twists and turns that you don't expect from the series, and I think that lends itself to it being more than just a romantic comedy series. It's really like it's a romance series, but it also plays into the legends, and I think that's the strong suit of this actual manga, is that it does lend itself to the supernatural element. It's good. I don't know what else to say. I really enjoy this series. And like I said, it's not spectacular in the sense that like every time you read, your mouth is going to be dropping like Mirako, or you're just going to be just so shocked. But I think you will actually enjoy reading it because the plot is actually good and there's very good character development. Like, we're only 32 chapters in, and I really enjoy it. So I think you should give it a chance. So again, I say continue this series, add it on to your manga list, and drop down in the comments below and let me know if you would add this on your list, or if you actually have been reading and what do you enjoy about the series. Again, remember to be bravely authentic, and I'm out, y'all. Deuces.